Some of the most beloved icons carried hidden truths, locked away until their final moments. These 20 black celebrities took secret romances to their graves, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Behind the glitz and glamour lay stories of love that defied societal norms. Let's uncover the shocking secrets they never shared, that 20 of your favorite black celebrities didn't reveal even till their death on the 20th spot is famous writer James Baldwin, an acclaimed American author born in 1924, was a figure whose words struck deeply into the core of racism, identity, and love. Known for wearing his heart on his sleeve, Baldwin navigated the churning waters of societal oppression while channeling his emotions into profoundly impactful writing. However, there was a side of Baldwin's life veiled in secrecy. His romantic relationships remained largely undisclosed until after his death, when it was revealed that he had been involved with both men and women. This secrecy was likely influenced by the intense social stigmas of the time, or perhaps Baldwin's personal preference for privacy. In his novel Just Above My Head, he offers an intimate look into his experiences with love, particularly with other black men who shared his journey. Baldwin's other renowned works, such as Go Tell It on the Mountain in Another Country, delve deeply into the human condition, capturing the nuanced emotions of love and longing. His words have endured as a guiding light for those who feel like outsiders, offering solace and understanding. He once remarked that living a life filled with secrets can weigh heavier on the soul than the secrets themselves, a sentiment that encapsulates the complex duality of his existence. Now let's turn our focus to another iconic figure, Whitney Houston, who, like Baldwin, held on to a hidden love story that only came to light after her passing. 19. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston, celebrated as one of the most exceptional voices in music history, captivated the world with her ethereal vocals and striking beauty. Emerging in the glamorous 1980s, her name became synonymous with timeless hits like I Will Always Love You and Greatest Love of All. However, beyond the dazzling spotlight and widespread fame, Whitney's personal life held layers of complexity and concealed truths, waiting to be unveiled. One such secret was her deeply passionate and fiery relationship with Robin Crawford. Meeting during their teenage years, the two quickly became inseparable. What began as a close friendship soon evolved into romance. But as Whitney's stardom skyrocketed and she came under intense public scrutiny, she made the choice to keep their relationship private. This decision ultimately led to the end of their romantic involvement, though their bond endured as close friends. Whitney's deep trust in Robin was evident when she asked her to serve as her maid of honor at her wedding to Bobby Brown. While the tabloids were preoccupied with speculating about Whitney's relationships with various men, it was her connection with Robin that stood as one of the most genuine and meaningful in her life. The full extent of their love story, as well as the challenges they faced due to societal judgment and homophobia, only came to light after Whitney's passing, through Robin's heartfelt memoir. 18. Little Richard, born Richard Wayne Penniman in 1932, was a trailblazer and an undeniable force in rock and roll. He stormed into the music scene in the 1950s, captivating audiences with hits like Tutti Frutti and Long Tall Sally. His electrifying performances were bold, groundbreaking, and utterly unmatched, reshaping the landscape of modern music. Although he appeared to have it all, fame, fortune, and adoration, Little Richard carried a heavy burden, concealing a significant part of his identity throughout his life. His attraction to men was a truth he kept hidden, fearing that revealing it could bring his career to an abrupt end. While he maintained relationships with women and even married, these served as a shield for the secret side of his romantic life, which included discreet relationships with men. One of these clandestine connections was with dancer Audrey Robinson, known as Lee Angel, a relationship that held deep significance yet remained largely unspoken. Little Richard often found himself torn between the demands of his religious upbringing and his true self, creating a lifelong internal struggle. This conflict led him to publicly renounce his orientation on multiple occasions, only to later express contradictory views, showcasing the complexities of his journey. Despite these challenges, Little Richard's impact went far beyond music. His life sparked vital conversations about identity, acceptance, and authenticity, topics that continue to resonate even after his death in 2020. 17. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. is universally celebrated as a towering figure in the fight for civil rights, known for his unwavering dedication to justice and equality. His powerful speeches and unshakable resolve moved millions and reshaped the course of history. But behind the public figure lies a personal life that was far more complex than most people ever imagined. While married to Coretta Scott King, King maintained a long-term relationship with Dorothy Cotton, a key leader within the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Their connection ran deep and provided King with comfort and refuge, particularly during the most tumultuous periods of his public life. Cotton often accompanied him on his travels, and their bond offered him emotional solace amidst the relentless demands of his mission. Privately, King confided that he dreamed of a society where polygamy was embraced, a sentiment that revealed his deeply complicated views on love and commitment. Despite the closeness between King and Cotton, his marriage to Coretta and his prominent status in the civil rights movement necessitated that their relationship remain hidden. Cotton was left to exist in the shadows of their affair, even as she provided unwavering support during his most challenging moments. While King courageously led the fight for civil rights, he also wrestled with internal conflicts, including guilt over his infidelity. Their relationship ended with King's tragic assassination in 1968. 16. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye lived a life that mirrored the intense highs and lows of his music, stormy yet luminous. The legendary singer and songwriter, known for his unforgettable classics like What's Going On and Sexual Healing, captivated audiences with his velvety voice and deeply emotional lyrics. Born in 1939, Gaye rose to fame as one of Motown's brightest stars, but his personal life was fraught with turmoil and secrets. Gaye endured 2 highly toxic marriages and engaged in multiple secret relationships that added further complexity to his already chaotic life. Despite being married to Anna Gordy, he pursued other romantic connections, seeking a sense of fulfillment that often eluded him in his high-pressure celebrity existence. One of the most notable chapters of Gaye's romantic life was his passionate affair with Janice Hunter, a young woman he met while she was still in high school. Their relationship flourished even as Gaye navigated the rocky terrain of his troubled marriage. Their love resulted in 2 children, yet the relationship was marred by Gaye's ongoing struggles with infidelity and substance abuse, which continued to resurface and strain their bond. While Gaye's music spoke to the beauty and pain of human connection, his personal life reflected a more turbulent reality. Alongside his affair with Janice, Gaye harbored additional secrets, engaging in other clandestine relationships that remained hidden from the public eye. 15. Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker seemed to embody it all: glamour, activism, and a life cloaked in secrecy. Her extraordinary journey captivated 1920s Paris, where her unparalleled charm and unique style dazzled audiences. But Josephine was much more than an entertainer. She was a beacon of hope in the battle against racial injustice and a fearless advocate for freedom. Behind the dazzling performances and bold activism, however, was a private life far removed from her public persona. Hidden behind the spotlight were whispers of secret romances and clandestine relationships with both men and women who were drawn to her magnetism. Rumors swirled about her connections, including a romantic entanglement with the iconic artist Frida Kahlo, whose passion and creative brilliance mirrored Baker's own. She was also said to have engaged in extramarital affairs, such as a romance with celebrated author Georges Simenon. Another secretive yet fiery connection was with Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier. Despite the intrigue surrounding her love life, Josephine's devotion to her craft and her activism never wavered. She used her fame as a platform to combat racism and champion civil rights, securing her place as one of the most courageous advocates and cherished performers in history. 14. Etta James. There's no denying that Etta James reigned as the queen of blues and soul. Her voice, sweet as honey, could thaw even the iciest of hearts. With commanding stage presence and unforgettable hits like At Last and I'd Rather Go Blind, she carved out an enduring legacy. Yet behind the powerful vocals and fiery performances lay a private life rife with complexity and turmoil. Edda's personal journey was riddled with secret romances and struggles that often overshadowed her musical brilliance. Rumors of hidden relationships and battles with addiction painted a picture of a life as dramatic as her songs. She had a knack for veiling her private affairs, whether to protect her image or carve out a sliver of privacy amid a chaotic existence. One particularly notable connection was with musician and producer Harvey Fuqua. Their relationship blossomed during Edda's rise to stardom, marked by deep emotions yet kept largely under wraps. While there was undeniable substance to their bond, it remained concealed, perhaps due to the tumultuous nature of Edda's life, which included a rocky marriage and an unpredictable lifestyle. Despite her personal struggles, Edda never let her artistry falter. She continued to perform and record into the 21st century, earning accolades like Grammy Awards and a coveted spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Next up, we have another trailblazing legend, Richard Pryor, whose secret love life was just as controversial as his career. 13. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was a trailblazing comedian and actor who revolutionized the world of comedy with his raw, unapologetic storytelling and fearless approach to controversial issues. Born in 1940, Pryor burst onto the comedy scene in the 1960s, quickly earning recognition for his sharp wit and unique ability to bridge racial divides within his diverse audiences. Pryor's comedic genius was deeply rooted in his own life experiences, grappling with racism, substance abuse, and turbulent relationships. His comedy albums, such as That Nigger's Crazy, not only garnered critical acclaim, but also earned him 5 Grammy Awards, solidifying his legacy as one of comedy's most iconic figures. While Pryor was outspoken on stage and in interviews, his personal life was a different story. His many high-profile marriages and affairs with women were well documented, but his romantic entanglements with men were far less publicized and remained largely under wraps during his lifetime. It wasn't until after his passing that details of Pryor's fluid romantic preferences came to light. Through his autobiography and candid accounts from those close to him, the world learned about his relationships with both genders. Pryor kept these aspects of his life private, likely aware of the potential backlash such revelations could have sparked in the entertainment industry of his era. One particularly intimate and secret relationship was with actress Catherine McKee, a connection that Pryor reportedly held close to his heart. His ability to channel his personal struggles into groundbreaking art continues to resonate. 12. Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney was a comedic powerhouse, a trailblazer who infused his routines with humor and hard-hitting truths. Best known for his creative collaboration with Richard Pryor, which began in 1968, Mooney's fearless voice tackled difficult subjects like race and social justice with unflinching honesty. His writing credits include some of Pryor's most legendary material, cementing his place as an essential figure in the evolution of comedy. Throughout the 1970s and beyond, Mooney shaped the comedy landscape with his work on iconic shows like In Living Color and Chappelle's Show, solidifying his reputation as a pioneer. Yet while his professional achievements were widely celebrated, Mooney's personal life remained far more enigmatic. He chose to keep his romantic relationships out of the spotlight, reflecting the challenges of navigating identity within the confines of societal expectations at the time. Only later did friends and colleagues reveal that Mooney was attracted to both men and women. These secret relationships added depth to his already compelling life story, revealing a man who refused to be boxed in by traditional norms. In his memoir, Black is the New White, Mooney offered rare glimpses into his personal journey, sharing stories of love, identity, and resilience. Despite facing obstacles such as addiction and the relentless pressures of fame, Mooney maintained an unwavering bond with Richard Pryor, who understood him on a profound level. 11. Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens is a name forever tied to greatness, remembered as the man who made history by dismantling Adolf Hitler's vision of Aryan supremacy during the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Born in 1913 in Oakville, Alabama, Owens grew up facing relentless racial prejudice, yet he refused to let those barriers define his journey. Owens rose to become one of the most celebrated athletes of all time, dominating the 100 meters, long jump, 200 meters, and 4x100 meter relay. While he basked in national acclaim and adoration as a sports icon, Owens's personal life was far more intricate. Married to Ruth Solomon in 1935 and father to 3 daughters, Owens carefully cultivated an image that reflected the societal norms of his time. However, behind this respectable facade lay a series of secret romantic entanglements that persisted during and even after his marriage. Rumors of his relationships with other women swirled quietly, underscoring the pressures of maintaining an untarnished public persona in an era of rigid societal expectations. Discussions of Owens's private affairs were rare, reflecting the stigma around infidelity and extramarital relationships during his time. Even after his passing in 1980, stories of his clandestine romances emerged, offering a fuller portrait of a man who was not only an Olympic hero, but also a deeply human figure navigating the complexities of fame, desire, and societal judgment. 10. Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison was a revolutionary literary force who redefined storytelling by delving into the African-American experience with unparalleled depth and eloquence. Born in 1931 in Ohio, Morrison penned unforgettable works like The Bluest Eye, Song of Solomon, and Beloved. Her prose, a seamless blend of poetic beauty and emotional resonance, earned her both a Pulitzer Prize and a Nobel Prize in Literature. Morrison's stories shone a light on the struggles and triumphs of Black women, capturing their voices in a world marked by racism and sexism. While her public life was filled with accolades and literary achievements, her personal life was much more guarded. Morrison married Harold Morrison in 1958, but the union ended in divorce a decade later. Throughout her life, Morrison engaged in romantic relationships with both men and women, though these connections remained largely private. Perhaps it was the need to shield herself from public scrutiny, or simply a desire for personal privacy amid her soaring fame. Among her more notable connections was a rumored relationship with comedian Fran Lebowitz. Only after her death in 2019 did more details about Morrison's private life begin to surface, allowing the world to glimpse the personal experiences that shaped one of literature's most extraordinary voices. 9. Nina Simone. Nina Simone was a musical legend and tireless activist whose impact on the world remains profound. Born Eunice Kathleen Wayman in 1933, Simone initially dreamed of becoming a classical pianist, but jazz and blues ultimately became her true artistic calling. Her iconic songs such as Mississippi Goddam and Feeling Good served as anthems of the civil rights movement, showcasing her unwavering commitment to social justice. Simone's unique ability to merge genres with raw, heartfelt emotion made her a singular talent whose influence continues to resonate. Yet while Simone was outspoken about her activism, her personal life was an enigma. She carefully kept her romantic relationships out of the public eye, even from her devoted fans. One of her most significant yet tumultuous relationships was with Andrew Stroud, her second husband and manager. Their partnership was both passionate and deeply chaotic, with Stroud's abusive behavior leaving lasting scars on Simone's life and music. Beyond her marriage, Simone was rumored to have had affairs with notable figures, including civil rights activists and artists. She even documented her attraction to women in her private diary, though she never openly spoke about her preferences. 8. Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. was the quintessential triple threat: a sensational singer, mesmerizing dancer, and hilarious comedian who captivated audiences every time he stepped into the spotlight. Born in 1925, Davis began performing as a child with the Will Maston Trio, leaving crowds in awe of his extraordinary talent. As a key member of the legendary Rat Pack, alongside Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, Sammy charmed the world with his infectious wit and unparalleled charisma. Hits like The Candy Man and What Kind of Fool Am I continue to echo through time, earning Davis a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award and a timeless spot in the hearts of his fans. Yet beneath the glitz and glamour, Sammy's personal life was far more intricate. He had numerous secret relationships that remained carefully hidden from the public eye. Although he was married 3 times, whispers of his romantic ties with other stars, such as actress Kim Novak and singer Liza Minnelli, circulated persistently. These clandestine relationships were likely kept under wraps due to societal expectations and the pressures of fame. Davis's love life was undeniably complex, reflecting the challenges he faced as a black man navigating Hollywood's unforgiving landscape. Even his music was shaped by his hidden romances, with many of his songs embodying themes of yearning and heartbreak. 7. Diana Ross. Diana Ross was not just the queen of Motown, she was a cultural icon who redefined music and inspired generations. As the lead singer of the Supremes, Ross delivered timeless hits like Stop in the Name of Love and You Can't Hurry Love, cementing her status as a trailblazer and an empowering figure for black women in the entertainment industry. Her career, which has spanned decades, is studded with accolades, including a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Beyond her extraordinary talent, Diana Ross's solo career established her as more than just a voice. It made her a legend. However, behind the dazzling performances and accolades, Ross's personal life was full of intrigue and hidden chapters. Rumors of her romantic liaisons swirled, with some of her most significant secrets involving high-profile figures like Smokey Robinson. Their relationship, filled with passion, was also fraught with complexity, as Robinson was married at the time. He later acknowledged their deep connection, one that went beyond their musical collaborations. Another romantic entanglement was with Berry Gordy, the mastermind behind Motown Records. Their affair, intertwined with their professional relationship, ultimately took a back seat to their careers. Adding to the mystery were whispers about Ross's connection with Michael Jackson, who adored her as a mentor and harbored a well-known crush on her. Ross, however, maintained a professional distance, ensuring nothing would tarnish her pristine reputation. 6. Bessie Smith. Known as the Empress of the Blues, Bessie Smith dominated the music scene with her commanding voice and unmatched presence. Born in 1894 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Smith rose to prominence during the Jazz Age, recording over 160 songs and becoming one of the highest-paid African-American performers of her time. Her raw, unfiltered music resonated deeply, addressing universal themes of love, loss, and societal struggles that still strike a chord today. Smith's personal life, much like her music, was fiery and unrestrained. She was openly attracted to both men and women, and her romantic relationships were as intense as her performances. Her marriage to Jack G was tumultuous, marred by infidelity on both sides. Among her secret relationships was a passionate affair with chorus girl Lillian Simpson. Their connection burned brightly but was kept hidden from Jack, who would not have taken kindly to the discovery. Later, Bessie found solace in a relationship with Richard Morgan, though even this remained private as it overlapped with her marriage. Tragically, Smith's life was cut short in a car accident in 1937, leaving many aspects of her love life shrouded in mystery. Only after her death did the full extent of her romantic entanglements come to light, revealing a woman whose passions and artistry burned brightly in every aspect of her life. 5. Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston was nothing short of extraordinary, a visionary writer and anthropologist who breathed life into African-American culture with her vivid storytelling. Born in 1891 in Alabama, she was raised in Eatonville, Florida, the first all-black incorporated town in the U.S., a setting that deeply influenced her groundbreaking work. Her seminal novel, Their Eyes Were Watching God, published in 1937, delves into a black woman's transformative journey towards self-realization and empowerment. Additionally, her pioneering anthropological studies, such as Mules and Men, demonstrated her unwavering commitment to preserving black folklore and traditions. While Hurston's literary accomplishments are widely celebrated, her private life tells a more enigmatic tale. Throughout her life, Hurston engaged in relationships that were often shrouded in secrecy. Her marriage to Herbert Sheen ended in divorce in 1931, after which she explored other romantic connections. Among the most intriguing rumors was her alleged intense relationship with Langston Hughes. Although their bond ultimately evolved into a tumultuous friendship, the speculation surrounding their connection adds layers of complexity to her narrative. It wasn't until after Hurston's passing in 1960 that details about her hidden relationships, both with men and women, began to surface. 4. Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes stands as a literary icon who transformed American literature with his deeply resonant poetry and prose. Born in 1902, Hughes wielded his words to celebrate Black culture and confront the harsh realities of racial injustice. His renowned works, such as The Negro Speaks of Rivers and The Weary Blues, capture the essence of the African American experience, masterfully blending jazz-infused rhythms with profound emotional depth. Beyond his role as a poet, Hughes was a cultural ambassador who drew inspiration from his global travels to enrich his literary endeavors. However, Hughes's public persona of activism and art only scratched the surface of his life. Behind the scenes, his romantic relationships were steeped in mystery, while his friendships with women, such as Zora Neale Hurston, hinted at deep connections. Many of his intimate relationships remained veiled. It wasn't until after his death in 1967 that revelations about his private life began to emerge. Biographers uncovered that Hughes engaged in relationships with both men and women, an aspect of his identity that profoundly influenced his creative expression. These clandestine romances enriched his poetry, infusing themes of desire and identity with emotional complexity. His work continues to stand as a testament to the multifaceted life he lived, both seen and unseen. 3. Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman's voice was unparalleled, an instrument of raw power capable of stirring emotions in anyone fortunate enough to hear it. Her timeless hits, like You Know How to Love Me and Living All Alone, continue to captivate R&B and jazz enthusiasts, cementing her as an enduring icon in the music world. However, behind the spotlight and the applause, Hyman's personal life was fraught with battles she fought in silence. Hyman struggled with bipolar disorder and depression, challenges that shadowed much of her life. To cope with the weight of her emotional pain, she often turned to self-medication through alcohol and substances, seeking solace in fleeting comforts. Tragically, the very career that brought her fame and success often exacerbated her mental health struggles. In the years following her death, more details about Hyman's personal life came to light, including her romantic relationships. She was known to have had connections with both men and women, including a rumored long-term relationship with songwriter Tina Clark. While Hyman never publicly identified her sexuality, those closest to her suggested that her relationships with women were significant chapters in her life. 2. Octavia Butler. Octavia Butler was a trailblazing pioneer in every sense of the word. As a visionary science fiction author, she shattered barriers and redefined norms with her deeply thought-provoking narratives on race, gender, and humanity. Born in 1947 in Pasadena, California, Butler made history as the first African-American woman to carve out a formidable name for herself in a genre largely dominated by white men. Her groundbreaking works, such as Kindred and the Parable series, explored intricate themes of identity and social justice, solidifying her legacy as a prominent figure in Afrofuturism. By intricately blending personal experiences with speculative storytelling, Butler opened doors for future generations of writers to reimagine their own realities within fantastical worlds. However, Butler's personal life was an entirely different narrative. While her literary brilliance is well documented, her romantic relationships were cloaked in secrecy. Friends and biographers have hinted at discreet romantic connections that profoundly influenced her. Yet these were rarely, if ever, made public during her lifetime. Butler, intensely private by nature, kept her attraction to both men and women largely under wraps, adding an enigmatic layer to her already mysterious persona. After her passing in 2006, revelations began to surface about her deeply human experiences with love and desire. These glimpses into her private world revealed a woman as layered and complex as the stories she penned, someone who longed for connection just as deeply as any of us. 1. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross embodied the essence of smooth and soulful music. With his velvet voice and deeply romantic ballads, he left an unforgettable imprint on the world of music. Born on April 20th, 1951, Vandross started his career as a backup vocalist before skyrocketing to fame with his debut album, Never Too Much, in 1981. His distinct style and emotionally charged lyrics resonated with audiences, giving rise to timeless classics like Dance with My Father, which earned him a Grammy for Song of the Year in 2004. Selling over 40 million records and winning 8 Grammy Awards, Vandross firmly established himself as one of the most iconic voices in R&B history. But while Vandross's music exuded romance and longing, his personal life was far more intricate. He was notoriously private, concealing his relationships from public view. Vandross's sexual orientation, which he kept hidden for much of his life, played a significant role in the secrecy surrounding his romances. Close friends and biographers later unveiled that Vandross had relationships with both men and women, a reality that reflected the struggles he faced in navigating a society that wasn't entirely welcoming of his truth. Following his passing in 2005, more details about Vandross's life emerged, offering insight into the emotional depth behind his music. His songs, filled with themes of unrequited love and heartache, seemed to carry echoes of his personal experiences. Vandross's legacy, both as a musical genius and as a man who privately wrestled with identity and acceptance, continues to resonate with fans worldwide.